Will the Bengals take down the Raiders and end their postseason drought? Hi again, everyone. I'm James Rapien with allbengals.com and Cincinnati Bengals Talk, and that is the question that everybody is asking right now, and you've probably been asking it for quite some time. We've asked it before, and the drought has continued and continued and continued. And I get it. A lot of you are probably saying, look, that has nothing to do with Joe Burrow. He's 25 years old. That has nothing to do with Jamar Chase. My man is 21 years old, was born in 2000. I get it. I understand it. And you are 100% right. These players didn't contribute to the drought. A couple of them played in that final playoff game that we've seen against the Steelers at the end of the 2015 season. But most of them weren't around. Most of the coaches, really outside of special teams coordinator Darren Simmons, weren't around. I get it. I understand it. And a lot of you, me included, didn't anticipate the Bengals making the run that they've made this season. And despite that, I want to make it very, very clear. The Bengals are not playing with house money on Saturday night. This is not a game where it's like, oh, well, they should be happy to be here. And if they win, great, they're ahead of schedule. But if they lose, how many people really expected them to win a playoff game this season anyway? Hell no. It isn't that. In fact, it's the opposite. Now that they've made this run, now that they've, Joe Burrow's emerged as not even one of the best young quarterbacks, one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. Zac Taylor, a candidate for Coach of the Year. Jamar Chase, arguably the best young wide receiver and one of the best receivers in the NFL. Joe Mixon, Pro Bowler. Trey Hendrickson exceeds expectations after his big deal. All of these things go right. By the way, the Bengals, one of the healthiest teams in the NFL. All of these things all season long put them in this position. 10-7, division champions, first time since 2015. And, well, if you don't want, and I've had a lot of people say this week, especially when I've asked Joe Burrow about the playoff drought, because I asked a couple times. I know the media, other media members have asked Zac Taylor and stuff like that, and that bothers fans a bit because he wasn't here. Taylor wasn't here. Burrow wasn't here. Most of these guys weren't here. Well, if you want to keep it that way, if you want to make sure that we never ask this ever again, that it is never a thing, and it's not just the media, that this narrative ends, you want it to end, you want the curse to end, you want the ghosts of Bengals past to just whisk off and go away. It's simple. They have to win. They're not playing with house money. This is not a game that is, oh, well, just be happy to be there. And if they lose, just look how bright the future is. No. If you don't want Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and Joe Mixon and Tyler Boyd and Zac Taylor and Trey Hendrickson and insert any player that's been here or joined this team in the past 5 years. If you don't want them to be a part of the curse, of the drought, of the whatever the hell it is, then they need to beat the Raiders on Saturday. The Bengals are favored by 5.5, according to mybookie.ag. They beat this team on the road November 21st, and I get it. It was closer than the final score looked, but they beat them 32-13. This is a Raiders team that has gone through hell this year with the Henry Ruggs situation, with John Gruden after, in October stepping down, and they found a way to get to 10 wins. You cannot lose to them. This is not house money, because if the Bengals, favored, at home, in the elements, don't take advantage of one of the healthiest seasons we've seen in a long, long time. We know how banged up the Bengals have been, and we'll see who plays this week. But this is, regardless of that, they've had a pretty healthy run here. If they don't take advantage of it now, and they lose to a team that everyone, you, me, probably a lot of Raiders fans, acknowledge, better quarterback, more talented roster. If they lose, and I'm not saying it's impossible, of course it's possible, but if they lose on Saturday, then those demons, those ghosts, the curse, now that's attached to Joe Burrow. Now that's a storyline going into year 3 of his tenure in Cincinnati, but year 2 of them being a playoff contender, of them being a potential Super Bowl contender. We're still talking about a playoff game. Now, I'm not saying that the Bengals need to make a Super Bowl run this year. Absolutely not. But they should beat a team in the Raiders, and they need to beat a team in the Raiders that they've already beat. This cannot be 2013 all over again. And I've talked to some people behind the scenes. I know some fans have it in the back of their stomach or the back of their minds of what happened in 2013 when the Bengals went and beat the Chargers in San Diego at the time, 17-10. It felt like they were going to win at home. Wild card round. Andy Dalton fumble city. Giovanni Bernard fumbles, stubbed their toe, and the Chargers ran for about 2,000 yards that game. Boom, playoff loss. Can't happen. I understand that. I get it. And the reason it can't happen is because then that narrative impacts this new era of Bengals football. It follows like in tracks and goes all over, and it's going to go where Burrow goes now, and it's going to go where Chase goes, and it's going to go where Zac Taylor goes, and it's going to follow them until they do it. Because right now, everyone knows it. These guys aren't part of that 0-7 run in the playoffs. That was Marvin Lewis. That was Carson Palmer. That was Andy Dalton. That was all these guys. I understand that. But if the guy that was brought in to exercise these demons and be the franchise savior in Joe Burrow, who's thrown for over 4,600 yards, franchise record, 34 touchdowns, franchise record, led the NFL in completion percentage at 70.4%, threw for 971 yards his last two starts this year, is playing as good or not better than any quarterback in the NFL. If he can't get past Derek Carr and the Raiders, and it's not that simple, I understand it. If Zac Taylor can't outcoach an interim coach who's done a really, really good job, but let's be honest here, the Raiders are going to go big fish hunting in the offseason. If this Bengals team can't get it done now, it is not, there's next year. They need to get it done right now. They have the dagger. And I wrote this at allbengals.com. They have the dagger. They need to jam it through the heart of their playoff demons. Again, they could lose next week to Tennessee. They could lose next week to the Chiefs. The narrative won't follow. You have to win at home, Paul Brown Stadium, against the Raiders. Because if not, regardless of what they do next year, they could go 12-5, 13-4, get the number one seed in the AFC, and get a bye. And guess what? Guess what people are talking about? The thing that you hate, that pisses you off the most. And let's be honest, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about the Bengals not winning a game in my lifetime. I was born in August 91. Their last win, playoff win, January 91. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to joke that I'm the curse or the curse of Bo Jackson and it goes on and on and on. I don't want to talk about any of that. What I want to talk about is, all right, the path to the Super Bowl, like I did earlier this week. And a lot of you commented, hey, how about you pump the brakes there? And I get it, understand it, still wanted to outline it. And I'm not overlooking the Raiders. I'm not saying it's going to be an easy game. But I'm saying if you want these demons, these ghosts of Bengals past, the curse talk to go away, then you need Joe Burrow to not only wield the dagger, because he's got it, right? He's wielding it, and Jamar Chase is right behind him, and they need to jam it through the heart of their playoff demons. If they do that on Saturday, it doesn't matter what happens else. You know what else happens in this playoff run? The narrative ends, the curse, if you believe in that, is broken, and you can go, whew. But if the franchise savior and this young coach of the year who's built this awesome culture, potential coach of the year, and this rookie of the year, he better damn well win rookie of the year, Jamar Chase, and this defense that's overperformed and played really well, if they go out and lay an egg at home in cold weather against a warm weather team that's been through hell this year, well then that curse talk, that's going to increase. Those demons are going to get stronger. The doubt is going to get louder. And it could potentially impact the Bengals. And that's the part of it that you don't want. You don't want it to bleed into this era. And it hasn't yet. And it doesn't have to. As long as the Bengals win on Saturday against the Raiders. I'll have my prediction on Friday. A ton coming your way. Make sure you check out Lindsey Patterson's interview with Peter King. And by the way, you see this shirt? Look at this. Little tiger. You want this shirt, right? Me and my co-host of the Locked On Bengals podcast, Jake Lisco, partnered with Rivertown Inquiry. They have these shirts. Rivertown Inquiry does right now. Just go to rivertowninquiry.com. Search my name, James Rapien. You can get these. You can get this awesome tiger glass. And they have some other cool-ass shirts coming. So they're open right now, about 10 minutes from downtown. If you want to check them out, they're open on Saturday. They're open on Friday. So if you want to go there in person, grab a shirt before the game, you can absolutely do that. Also, come to our event, Holy Grail, Friday night. Starts at 7, downtown, Joe Nuxall Way. We'll have some giveaways, maybe a little Rivertown Inquiry swag, and I want to meet you. I want to meet all of our watchers. I love meeting all of you, and maybe we'll do a little in-person Q&A as well. That's at least the plan. So please show up there. And again, I'm not trying to be negative. I want this demon to die, and the way it dies is by winning on Saturday night at Paul Brown Stadium. For Andrew Fox Miller, I'm James Rapien. Thank you so much for watching right here on Cincinnati Bengals Talk.